Ladies and gentlemen, do not go gentle into that good night. Old age should burn and rage, rage against the dying of the light. Rage against the dying of the light. Jai Hind, everyone. I am Govind, the podcast moderator for the day, and I welcome you all to Vox Populi, the voices of the people, where we hear stories that inspire and motivation flows like poetry in motion. Amidst us, today we have someone who is a signal and direction of resilience. He's someone from whom we take inspiration. We have Mr. Anubhav with us, Alumni, batch 2014-15. Hi Anubhav Bhaiya, we welcome you.
Thanks a lot for the warmest introduction I've ever got in quite some time. So good to be back to school.
So, lately, how's life going?
Life is good, man. I mean, actually, life is amazing. Uh, I'm doing what I love. I'm doing it well. And doing that, I'm trying to change a lot of lives. So using tech, I always wanted to change lives using technology. And I think that's something I'm doing, I always wanted to do. So I think life is amazing.
Okay, so life's lately been amazing. So,
Yeah, lately,
yeah,
been amazing.
absolutely. I mean, yeah, dear audience, for a pre disclaimer, I must say that while before this podcast, when we were in conversation, he asked me to keep the riz up. So, keeping the riz up, we continue with the podcast.
You should always keep the raise up.
Absolutely. The charisma should not end. Okay. So, Bhaiya, how it feels like to come back to school after 9 long years? I mean, yeah, it must be quite a journey for you.
Yeah, I think a lot has changed. I uh, a lot has changed in terms of I think buildings and stuff like that. I think nothing that I had seen in my school days is still intact. But it's good to be back. But I think teachers are the same. The motivation is the same, and I think everyone remembers who I was. So I think that was a bit of a justice, and I think people remember faces. I think so. I think so. Yeah. In short, it was good to be back, and I really enjoyed my time yesterday when I was here, and today also.
Absolutely, Bhaiya. So, I mean, like you have been into tech, you have been a good, bright student of Sunbeam Bhagwanpur. And I mean, you were here since prep. So it has been a long 15-year-old journey that you have crossed in Sunbeam Bhagwanpur campus. So what's the major difference that we saw of evolution in you from prep to class 7th or senior shift uh, that Sunbeam Bhagwanpur gave? I mean, yeah.
So I think when I was admitted in the school, I was diagnosed with a very rare disease. It was solar retinopathy. I just had a very, what do you say, not a good relation with the sunlight, and but still, my parents and I chose to that I should actually not delay the school admission. So I usually started my schooling journey as a normal kid. Uh, but there was always a fear that I would most likely was acceptable in losing my eyesight. That's what the doctors were speaking and telling my parents continuously that you have to be very careful in terms of all those things. But I think one of the biggest takeaways and one of the biggest what do you say hopefulness that I received was the kind of atmosphere was built in school. I had very amazing supportive teachers, right? They used to take good care of me, and they used to take good care of me at least for the couple of years when uh, until and unless I started seeing signs of improvements, and there was absolutely no differentiation with any other kid. I was treated pretty well. I did not want special treatment, so that was there. But most importantly, I think the teachers here and a few of friends that I ended up making in lower kindergarten had a lot of support. They gave me a lot of support, and that started building a lot of resilience in me. So my school journey is all about being resilient. Uh, I was kind of aware that because of my eyesight and hundreds of problems that came with it, uh, things would be challenging, but I think things turned out to be, it turned out to be well. And uh, till that point, I think whether I was in my sixth grade or 11th grade or 12th grade or any of the grades in between, I think I was building up a lot of resilience from the school days, and I think that really helped me throughout my college, throughout my early startup journeys, and today also. Like, I mean, I think Sunbeams taught me not to give up and fight for what you deserve. There are a lot
Absolutely.
of stories about what fight for what you deserve is. Maybe you'll get to hear it about from the junior school teachers. But yeah, I mean, like, this is something that the school helped me a lot.
Absolutely. So, Bhaiya, as I mentioned, dear audience, like he's a direction of resilience for us, for students like us who are still pursuing our studies from Sunbeam Bhagwanpur. I mean, he has been such a great figure. I mean, listening those things from from the teachers and all the faculty fraternity, it is quite inspiring for all of us to know him and to conversate with him in this podcast is like a privilege for students like me. So kudos to you for that sense and for building that sense of resilience so that we can look up to you as an inspiration today. So Bhaiya, you are coming back to school after so long. I mean, what are the major changes that you see in the campus in physical senses?
I think to some extent the school has become super fancy. I'm seeing a lot of talk about AI and stuff from the infrastructure point of view. I think yesterday I visited the computer lab and I was speaking to the faculty there, and they were like they're teaching about large language models, how to kind of build small agentic systems. I think I never had imagined I'd come to school after 10 years and I'd want to I would uh, be listening to those kind of things. So that was pretty utopian in my sense. I think that's something that's going to make the school move
So I mean,
5-6 years
you
ahead
you
of others as
you
well.
never imagined that these things would change.
I didn't. To be very honest, I didn't. I'm not seeing quite a lot of optimism in India in general, but coming back to my alma mater and seeing these kind of things, people talk. Whosoever I was speaking to, whether it was one of the physics teachers, they were only talking about AI. They were they were they were telling me a story about how their son ended up winning a hackathon with Intel. I said that, oh, all these ये सब भी हो रहा है क्या school में? मतलब that's pretty dope. I mean, OG kind of I wish I had it in my school days, but that was pretty amazing to
Yeah,
see that.
absolutely, Bhaiya. I mean, things have been evolving, and we are here now in this podcast room, newly built.
Yeah, absolutely. Super fancy, yaar.
So, Bhaiya, we are talking about fanciness. Okay, so any major mischief that you did in your school life that you wanted to share?
Okay, so yeah, I was actually a very mischievous student because most of the teachers anywhere in the school knew because they had seen me from my early childhood. I did a lot of ethical mischief. I didn't do a lot of unethical mischief, but ethical mischief I did a lot. Ended up regretting a few of it, but I think one of the most highlights were the farewell assembly that me and my friends did. We ended up mimicking a lot of teachers, which ended up offending them to a certain extent, but then we apologized. But I think we really after a few years, I mean, they ended up texting me on Facebook that, I mean, no, bury the hatches. We still laugh. Everyone talks about that assembly where you mimicked. So I think uh, those were the kind of mischiefs we did.
Okay.
So all these things I did. Apart from that, I there were a lot of mischiefs that we did. Yeah, matlab, there's not going to be a finite count to it, but I really had fun doing that.
Okay. Okay. I mean, that's quite interesting. So, Bhaiya, when we are talking about mischief, so obviously it's quite precise for us to know that you were not a quiet, studious kid anymore. So, like, were you a Rizzler in your dictionary?
Maybe. I mean, uh,
So, a
I
popular kid.
I was popular. I was popular. I was, if you want to call. So I actually did a lot of non-conventional stuff in school. I published a poetry book that caught a lot of attention. Got me a lot of awards. I won quite a few scholarships from the school. So purely, a few of it were academics, but most of it wasn't. So I think I was. I mean, you'd ask the teachers if I was a Rizzler or people from my batch, but mostly I was a good, famous, uh, popular kid in the school.
Would you like to share any of your experiences as a head boy?
Yeah, so I was the head boy in junior school, and the way in which they made me head boy was pretty fascinating. It was a story to be told to the generations. I will not tell the story of how I became the head boy, but
Okay.
that was pretty political, pretty the song of ice and fire kind of a moment
Mhm.
in my journey. Ended up my friend who was supposed to be the head boy, whose name also was Anubhav, wasn't the head boy. They made me after some situational fallouts and stuff like that. So I think I think my time as a head boy, even though that's, I mean, I was very young. I mean, I was in sixth grade, but I think there were a lot of small initiatives and awarenesses that I tried and my council member tried to do back then when I was in sixth grade was pretty good. I mean, uh, whether it was creating communities to support people who are not able to students who are not able to study well,
Hmm.
exchanging free notes and stuff like that. So this was something that actually I'm like we had done.
So, Bhaiya, I mean, you have been pursuing tech for so long. So, where do you see the role of Sunbeam in building your tech forte, which is being observed right now, which you are pursuing right now, and you're practicing technology for so long?
So yeah, I'm obsessed with tech. I mean, if you read about a few very few articles which are written Indian Express and stuff like that, you've been seeing that I've been doing quite a few highly technical stuff, whether it was in uh, Justice Department with Supreme Court or uh, you know uh, banks and stuff like that, and whatever I'm doing right now. I think I personally am obsessed with uh, I mean, technology in general, hardware, machines, and AI in general. I don't know I don't know where I actually started getting that interest. I can't actually recollect a moment in school, but I think the biggest uh, I think the honest way to answer this question would be that my friend circle was into a lot of tech. We were aware about the latest games which were in town. We were aware about the latest tech which was in town. We were exposed to a lot of new softwares that school bought back then, and the possibility that you can do a lot of things with that was pretty fascinating. So that new exposure to newer software systems and stuff like that, the school was able to do. And I think when in seventh or eighth, I think it was around 2011, 12, right? I think that was the actual onset of uh, the internet penetration. You had
Yep.
tablets,
Yep.
you had these secure tablets for kids
Hmm.
and stuff like that. I remember I had this what do you say, a Micromax fun book and stuff like that. Everyone in my school had.
Yeah, even I had one at that time.
So I think doing that, you were exposed to things like YouTube, and all I did was watch space videos like and stuff like that. Back then, I actually learned and memorized the entire fleets of ISRO engines, the rockets, how what's the mission, how are they designing the propulsion engines and stuff like that. And I think that is something that was the initial beginning of tech obsession.
So
Yeah.
I feel that your inclination is towards more defense tech system, right?
It will be. I mean, yeah, defense is pretty cool. So, anyone who is a tech entrepreneur, some or the other way, wants to build defense tech. If you'd ask Mark Zuckerberg today, also, if
Yeah.
you'd ask Elon Musk, if you'd ask any of these famous nerdy folks, they would say that defense is something that's of high interest to them. Tech.
Absolutely. I mean, your T-shirt is also
Yeah,
signifying that.
I mean, I'm actually wearing an Indian Army T-shirt.
Yeah,
So yeah, I mean,
National War Memorial.
absolutely.
Hmm. So, Bhaiya, I mean, your journey throughout Sunbeam has been quite inspirational. And even the journey after it, I mean, your persuasion towards tech and how you are engulfing and grabbing tech and taking it to a to an entire new level. To so that's quite amazing to know. So, Bhaiya, where do you see technology in the next 5 years?
Okay, so I'm sure a lot of you have been using ChatGPT and Gemini, Grok Assistant, and stuff like that. Something that has, I think, probably is the next internet uh, uh, moment for tech, but it's actually more than that. I think we are probably sitting at a time where we are looking at intelligence being democratized. Uh, what 17-year-old kid like you can just access ChatGPT and
Absolutely.
become a high quality quantum physicist, get the essential knowledge required to kind of go deeper into the
Mm-hmm.
science and experiences beyond what's hardly taught to you in school. That's highly, that's, I never imagined 2 years back when I was still there that something like this would happen. So this is a probably, as science fiction calls it, as intelligence explosion. If you'd look at the way in which they define this, uh, the era where technology is moving so fast that the cost and intelligence is getting democratized, right? So, and we are probably in the beginning, right? So I have a lot of people, I have a lot of friends who are in these companies like OpenAI, Google DeepMind, Anthropic, top probably the top AI companies, and the kind of stuff that they show me, the kind of tools that they build, I'm like pretty early to get access to all those tools. I'm
Yeah.
pretty early to get access to all those tools. But the way in which things are progressing, I think 5 years we would have highly capable systems, highly capable AI algorithms, highly capable humanoid robots that will be at par or probably be more uh, uh, probably be probably beat the human expertise in doing all the tasks that you can ever imagine, whether it's coding, whether it's general physician, whether it's cancer diagnostics, right? We are seeing early signs of that. Of course, there would be some ethical and riskier considerations, whether how are these tools being, how is this
Absolutely.
tech being used in warfare and stuff like that. But I think 5 years down the line, we would have progressed another 100 years of scientific research and development. The way in which things are progressing, and I'm pretty optimistic about that.
Absolutely, Bhaiya. I mean, it's quite observational to all of us that how technology as a subject as well as nature and an
And yeah,
energy.
there was one more thing. If you don't, I'm not sure how, if you guys follow a lot of deep tech, but uh, if you look at what's happening simultaneously, it's not just AI, it's not just the tech AI which is booming. When a scientific breakthrough or when a technological breakthrough happens in one domain, it accelerates every other
Absolutely.
domain, right? So we are actually sitting at a point in our lifetime where we are seeing advanced AI systems who are going to diagnose and cure cancer, create personalized vaccines based on your genome sequence and structures and stuff like that. Uh, Simultaneously, we are seeing research labs being able to bring back extinct animal species. So I'm not sure if you are, if you were aware of, the school is has made you aware about the dire wolf
Yeah,
being back after 10,000
absolutely.
years.
Yes.
It's like we are at a point where the tech breakthrough, the scientific breakthrough, the natural habitat, or the the nature's breakthrough, everything is happening at the same time.
Hmm.
So if you'd look, if you'd zoom out a little bit, and if you'd see what's happening, and if you'd zoom out to look at a 5 year further down the line future, you would see that uh, as a nuclear fission, or if like a fission reaction, like everything is just a chain reaction after that. So every aspect of scientific discovery, every aspect of science is going to be accelerated 10x, 20x, 100, maybe 100x, I don't know, but everything is just going to be at an exponential
Mind tasking
yeah.
that is. I mean, amazing. Knowing tech and technology, I mean, something that has been evolving for so long and will be evolving, and an estimated figure of 100x of growth in the upcoming years. I mean, it's quite dynamic for us in the present scenarios. So, Bhaiya, if we are talking about tech, then where do you see the scope of culminating technology with education in the upcoming years?
So I'm not sure if you're aware about what I do. So I have founded a company called Zoo AI,
Yes.
and it's a pretty not sugar coated, but it's a popular app. I think when I was doing a conversation with you, you were
Yeah.
shocked that you guys have used the app and you didn't
Uh-huh.
know that it was an Alumni's
Absolutely.
product. So I hear that a lot. I've seen a lot of my family's first cousins asking me to give a premium access to the product, which I of course end up doing. But uh, so, so I think education is going to change a lot, at least in terms of the immediate effect, as I see, is the ability to create AI systems which are extremely personalized to your personality and to your traits and to your style of learning. And that's going to help you throughout your learning journey, whether you are in school, in college, to help you choose the right college, to help you choose the right subjects in college,
Absolutely.
to help you choose the right job, to help you prep for the right job, to help you get the right skills. So it's a never-ending journey, and it's going to be extremely personalized, right? So the way in which we are envisioning creating these kind of systems is, imagine who is the best physics teacher in the school right now.
I don't rank teachers. I mean,
I
come
mean,
on.
just tell me, who do you like, who the style
I'm
of
I'm
teaching.
I'm not a physics student, but still, Manish, sir.
Okay, let's take an example of Manisha, right? So there will be certain traits, there will be certain expertise that he is bringing to the table, right? It can be the way in which he creates high quality resources or brings you the right questions, uh, reasons, or does a pretty articulated thinking so that each student understands how to solve a particular problem, right? Now imagine a teacher like Manish sir is not available for someone who is studying, let's say, quantum uh, classical mechanics or friction in Nigeria or in Kenya or even in India also. If you go beyond tier 2 cities, you would
Yeah,
not find
absolutely,
quality teachers.
absolutely.
A lot of ratification happens there, right? And that's not the right way to build educational
Hmm.
system, right? People don't learn anything and they end up just losing a lot of positive aspects of education, right?
Absolutely.
So what AI is going to do is that, imagine Manish sir or any expert teacher, right? So you are essentially taking their traits out as computer variables and bringing and building AI systems which mimic his style or any teacher's style of teaching. What end up happening is that you have highly capable AI systems that knows how to teach physics to a 10th grader in a fashion that involves the expertise of Manish sir or any other famous or any other popular or any other expert teacher in the world, and you combine all those qualities and you have that AI system which can now be accessed maybe for free, or if not for free, then for extremely low cost. So we are essentially trying to do that through our initiatives, right? And we're trying to do it for all the subjects, for all the uh, for physics. We're trying to do for all the exams. So initially, most of the stress the students have are during the examination seasons,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So we thought that why not start with the exams? So we did in India. We're doing in the US. We'll most probably expand in countries like Brazil, Turkey, Indonesia, Latin America, and Korea as well.
I mean, that's
So to answer your question, what's going to happen to education with the onset of AI? A lot of personalization, a lot of a lot of ways in which you can calm the students down, and it will eliminate a lot of fear. I think when we look at exams, when we look at education, it's by default fear, right? So I think that is something that will be eliminated in the next couple of years.
I mean, wow, that's an even greater world. I mean, I'm literally I'm now engrossed in this thought that how technology will be growing, and I'm waiting for that era, honestly. And bingo, now I'm interested in technology as well. For the past 10 months, I wasn't. I was a techie guy in class ninth and 10th, but then I wasn't. Wow. I mean, yeah, I'm literally shocked at how technology will be growing and how educational culmination with technology will improve education as a field a lot more. But yeah, it has been very fine conversating with you. But now we are almost at the end of this podcast. So you have seen your 15 years of school journey. Can you please name that one movie, or if you want to call your entire school journey, and frame it into one movie self dynamic name, what it would be?
I think I would choose Gladiator.
Okay.
And if not Gladiator, then if I were to choose a character, I'll choose Iron Man. Because my journey has always been about resilience. And most of the teachers who are here will tell you that it's always been about resilience. So I think I would actually choose that.
Gladiator, what character? Maximus
Of course, my name is Maximus Decimus Brutus.
Meridius.
Correct.
Okay. So thank you, Bhaiya. That was absolutely so nice talking to you. I mean, dear audience, this is the conversation we look up to when we are at the verge of thinking something and creating something entirely new. In this world of technology where we think and we imagine things to happen, there these people create those things. I mean, I'm absolutely imagining that how the world would be looking like in the next upcoming 10, 20 years. And I'm more than that, I'm even waiting to see that world and witness that world and use technology integrating with my life. Bhaiya, thank you so much for
Thanks a lot.
joining us.
Thanks a lot for
Thank you
having
so
me here.
much. Thank you so much for joining us in this podcast session. It was so nice talking to him, ladies and gentlemen. And I hope that you people have taken a lot from this fantabulous session. Thank you so much for viewing this podcast. We'll see you in the next one. Thank you for seeing and watching Vox Populi. Like, share, and subscribe. With this, I, Govin, podcast moderator, signs off. Thank you. Jai Hind.